I don't even know what to do with this space so far because it's just so new. But I'm excited about the potential of it, and I'm excited to take you guys kind of with me through the journey of finding out. Okay, so I guess I'll address the elephant in the room first, which is what space am I in? So we bought a house in December. So me and Omar, my husband, we bought a house for the first time ever. It's our first home, and we just moved in a month ago. So it took us some time to get settled, and this is my first ever office. So I did the wallpaper behind me, got the plant. I'm gonna do a whole other office tour video once I get it. It's kind of a mess right now. Once I get it done, but yeah, so we bought a house. It's been really, really nice to have our own space. We got married during COVID, for those who don't know, and then we were living with my in-laws and my parents, and so we just now have our own space now. So that's been really exciting, and it's really nice to have my own office for business. I've always wanted my own space to create all of this content, and like my brain just has so much I want to create in this world. So I'm excited, that this is going to be the room to do that. So all the videos are going to be filmed in here. I also am building like a little charging station for all my photo gear and all of that. So it feels very new. It feels like I don't even know what to do with this space so far because it's just so new. But I'm excited about the potential of it, and I'm excited to take you guys kind of with me through the journey of finding out what kind of like works in the office and what, you know what I mean. So yeah, so this is our new, I'm in our new house. Okay, so let's talk about how was off season this past year. So we bought the house in December. I had one wedding in December, and then I had no weddings January, February, and March. So that's kind of like off season here in the Virginia, DC area. So I haven't had a wedding in 3 months, but I have my first season wedding starts in April, which is now in a few weeks again. So off season was good and hard in different ways. So it was good because it's like I got a nice physical break. You slow down, and it's a season of rest. And it was also hard because I feel like something people don't talk about enough is what off season looks like when you have a really seasonal job. So for me, I actually really like working, and I like to be busy. So I get a little bit seasonally depressed, like a lot of people, when there aren't that many weddings to shoot. So it's a nice season of rest. It's a little bit of a mix of emotions for me. And it's also kind of hard because, at least in this area, it's a big time in our wedding industry during off season for networking. And there's all these wedding vendors. I don't know if it's like this everywhere in the US, but like a lot of people get together. There's all these events. And the industry that we're in is so competitive in this area that a lot of the events are like, to go to these wedding industry events, you have to have an invitation, and a lot of them are a little bit like exclusive. So I also felt like this off season, as I'm growing my business and becoming more and more dependent on the industry to support me, as planners to refer me and all these things. As I become more dependent on that, I need to be invited into more and more rooms, and sometimes that's like just doesn't happen. And so it just kind of was like a roller coaster of emotions. I felt like during off season is a season of feeling like successful about all the weddings you photographed, and also feeling a lot of rejection from inquiries that come in, because also it's the time that like all the wedding inquiries are coming in. So you feel like, oh, they're gonna book, they're not gonna book. So it's a little bit of an emotional roller coaster for 3 months. You have that going on, and then also all these events and like people that you're meeting, and like trying to put yourself out there, because a lot of wedding vendors don't really want to like meet during on season because they're busy. So it was a little bit of a roller coaster emotionally with both of those things. I feel like it was better than the year before when I first became aware. Like the first year this happens, you become like aware of all the events that you're not invited to, and I was just like be really upset about it. And then this year I was like, okay, I'm still building my business. It's also not realistic for me to always be invited to everything. And then something that I also realized is with wedding vendors and just any industry you're in, being more careful about like who you put your trust in. So I think for me, I was realizing that I trust a lot of people really fast. And in an industry, they're just colleagues most often or coworkers. So we have to be careful like how much loyalty and trust you expect from people that you just kind of work with. So just because you're really, really close to that person doesn't mean that you deserve a referral or that you should expect a referral. And when you put that kind of pressure on a relationship, it kind of makes your friendship just weak and like a little bit fakey. So it is like a learning curve, I feel like, to balance how to be friends with people and also need them to refer you at the same time. Doesn't mean that you have to have like bad intentions. It's just that it's a roller coaster of emotions. So I'm not sure if it'll be like that every year as I grow. Maybe I'll get more confident with this and, you know, keep talking about it. But I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it, and I'm really curious to see if like, is that only in this area, or do you guys feel similarly about the wedding industry in a different area? I feel like as a whole, the wedding industry is very supportive, and that's not what I'm saying. I just feel like this kind of off season of events, the way it makes me feel personally is, you know, just a little bit like it's a little cutthroat. So that was my honest feelings about off season. And kind of hand in hand with that is I feel like off season, or when we're not shooting weddings and just building a career as an artist, the most dangerous thing for me, it has been social media. So social media, what other people are posting on social media, especially your competition or like other people in the same industry, is none of your business. So I realized this, it doesn't matter what anyone posts, like it doesn't interfere with me. I don't need to know what other people are posting, especially as someone who is a visual person and like who likes to create things. It can be really hard to create your own kind of like art when you're just looking at other people's all the time. So I realized that it's none of my business what other people put on social media, and I need to stop making it my business. So I had some serious boundaries this off season with how much time I'm spending on social media. And I read this once that when it comes to content, you're either creating or you're consuming. And so you can't do both. So you're either making Instagram reels or you're watching Instagram reels. You can't be doing both at the same time, and you only have so much time during a day. So it's like one or the other. So that was a big thing for me to learn. I feel like I now have a lot stronger of a skill set with managing myself on like my own exposure to social media as a business owner. It's just none of our business what anyone else is posting. To go along with that, the comparison thing is so natural for us to compare ourselves to other people on social media, other businesses, other blog posts, other like all this stuff. And what I learned even from my own business is we just have no idea what goes into other weddings or booking processes of other weddings or how much people are charging. So like when you and I are like wedding photographers and we're scrolling on social media and you see a wedding, you're like, I really would have loved to shoot that. Like we just have no idea what went into this person photographing that wedding. And I think we like to think that we do. Oh, they're just such and such. So of course they did, or like, oh, whatever. But everybody is just a human and just a person. And I would put people really, really high on pedestals kind of for fun or just because I thought their work was great. And that's not a bad thing to do. But at the same time, like I have like shot a wedding this year for a friend of mine. So, and I'm not going to put that on my website that I did that for a friend. So you just don't know how people make decisions, especially with weddings, like how people are choosing vendors, what the planners have to think about for this particular couple to refer a specific vendor. So there's just like so many moving parts. And when you think about it, it's silly to think, oh, why didn't I get this referral, or why didn't I book this wedding, when we just literally have no idea. Like, there could be the bride her family speaks a certain language, and the photographer happened to know a little bit of that language, and you don't even know that that person knows that language. So like, it could just be so random that people connect with certain individuals for their own personal reasons. And so it just feels silly to, like, when you think about it, be like, to tell yourself that you're not enough, or you're not good enough, or you didn't get the booking because X, Y, and Z, when we really just have no idea what goes into anything except for our own business that is in front of us. So I hope that makes sense. I'm also such a big believer that we need to celebrate the big wins, the small wins, everything that we're doing that is just not celebrated enough. So some things that I did this off season that I'm really proud of is I was able to officially outsource my photo editing. And I can make another video on the different companies that I pulled from and how I made my decision and how the process was with them. But it's been a really, really great experience. It was definitely hard to pick a vendor, and there were so many parts to what I wanted from the editor. So I can make another video on that, but I'm really excited about that. I'm offering wedding photography and videography this year, so I was able to add another videographer to my team. And I did a whole interview process, create applications, all that. So I'm really proud that I found the right person for that, and I'm really excited to have people that I can share my ideas with and just like do weddings together with the same people. I also really, during off season, I've talked about this before, but refined my workflow so that almost everything I shoot can be submitted to be published. Because that was something that, like, I wasn't touching publications until like the very, very end of the year. And the reality is that the more and more booked I get and the more I grow in the industry, the end of the year, you just need rest. So it doesn't really, like, it never gets done when I do that. And then also the end of the year, sometimes I get like a New Year's wedding, or there isn't really a big gap of time where it's like, oh, now it's off season where you can just do all these things. I mean, there is in a way, but that gap of time isn't as big as like I would tell myself before. So anyways, after I shoot or do a wedding or deliver it, a workflow that start to finish that keeps social media updated on that wedding or post, keeps the clients getting all the photos, keeps them getting pitched to like buy products, keeps the publication submission in workflow, so that the process is always getting completely finished each time, and nothing is kind of getting added to a backlog of off-season tasks. That way off-season can be reserved for actually improving an entire process or doing something just better with my time than like catch up work. So that was like a long ramble, but I hope that makes sense. So everything I've got for this past year has already been pretty much submitted for publication. I'm really excited about the ability to just get that workflow down. Okay, so something else that I kind of discovered this off season is I love to work, I love to feel accomplished, and it's always been, I feel like it's harder as an entrepreneur if you are naturally motivated and you love seeing things happen. It's actually harder to learn how to rest than it is to learn how to work. So what I learned this off season is actually that there are 7 types of rest. There's physical rest, mental rest, emotional rest, sensory rest, creative rest, social rest, and spiritual rest. And sometimes you need one over the other. And I always thought that rest should look like physical rest, or that it should be just rest looked a certain way. But every day we need a different kind. So what I started doing this off season is kind of looking at this silly graphic all the time, figuring out which kind do I need right now that would make me feel better. And then I would just go ahead and do one of those things. So rest comes in really different forms, and we need a different kind every hour and every day. So that really helped me learn how to rest, because you can only work so well when you're not rested. So yeah, learning to rest is a skill in itself. something else I wanted to put into this video is something that I've been doing every quarter for a few years actually. So Kat Schmoyer, I think that's how you say her last name, I'm not sure. She is an educator in our space, and she makes a lot of content for business owners, wedding industry professionals, whatever. But she has this one program or like small course. It's called the Quarterly Cure. So I'll link her stuff down below, but basically it's like a 1 to 2 hour course on how to set up your quarter for success. And she says in there that you should have 1 or 2 offers that you work on solely for each quarter, and how to break it up so that each week you are achieving the goals to meet your quarterly goals. And if you meet your quarterly goals, you're meeting your annually goals. So I've been taking this every quarter. So I took mine at the end of this quarter, took mine at the beginning of the year, like I take it every 3 months. And I just rewatched the video and I redo the worksheets, and it's so helpful. So I wanted to tell you guys about it because if you're feeling stuck or like you're just not sure how to actually get anything accomplished in the next 3 months, it's really a great framework to help you. So let me know if you end up trying the Quarterly Cure. Also, I don't know what's going on this year. So in March, I didn't have any weddings. My weddings, like I said, start in April. But guys, I had 6 proposals that I photographed, and I usually like never do proposals. So I have been doing so many proposals. I used to hate them. They used to really stress me out. But now that I've done so many, I'm really starting to like them. And then it's like a mini engagement session right after. So they've been really kind of like, they make me nervous, but really fun. And I'm thinking about actually recording the next one for YouTube that I've just behind the scenes of how to photograph a proposal. So you can be on the lookout for that. And if I do end up doing that, I'll just link it at the end of this video. So I've been doing so many proposals, which also I feel like is a good sign for like weddings for 2025, because it seems like a lot of people are getting engaged right now, even though it's spring. That's usually not like the time, the engagement season, but seems like, I mean, that's telling that I've done so many proposals. So we'll see what the market does. And yeah, I hope this chit chat was really nice. Leave a comment, let me know how your off season was. And if you're a wedding photographer too, make sure to subscribe. And I make more chit chat videos, fun videos, videos like this. And I'll see you guys later here on YouTube.